Girl, can I just tell you one thing?
Hello.
Can I tell
Yes.
you one thing? I'm tired.
Fresh off that. Fresh off that horse. That horse. Look at that horse.
Fresh off the horse, the car, no spoiler. Fresh off the line dancing. Fresh off my fan snapping. Where them fans at, sister? Where them fans at?
So those fans. I wonder how many of them are laying in the parking lot. People are like, I don't need this anymore.
I hope not. Anyway,
You never
I
know.
mean, I don't, listen, I am excited. We were able to go to that last LA show. But before we go there, I just want to say welcome to everyone. I know you if you're following our social, you've been following our journey to Beyonce.
And if you don't follow us, you can
Okay.
follow us on YouTube or on Instagram at Girl Call Me. But today we're going to do an episode. It's going to be just a little shorter of an episode because what we want to do is really talk about our experience at the Cowboy Carter. And no spoilers of the show because we are not those kind of people. But we do want to give you some survival tips.
Because you have
Surviving
to
the rodeo.
survive. Right, because many of y'all probably have never been to the rodeo. Let me just say, I lived in Texas for a minute, so I've been to a rodeo or two. So we are going to give you our top five. Is that
Five
five?
things. Yeah. 5 things we learned at the concert, the
But
Beyonce
before
concert.
that, let me just get my hat on real quick.
You better straighten that up. Otherwise, you look very, very LA with the cock to the side.
You know
Need you to
what?
go
I think
straight.
listen, she's no longer here, so I can cock.
I
If
don't think
you'll some of y'all might see this, but listen, I have my hat on. I got my shirt that I got there. That's all I'm gonna say. And let's start, Jessica,
Yeah.
with what's your first tip for folks planning to go to the other cities?
Cowboy boots. Cowboy boots will humble you. I I feel like, first of all, for all of you who went out to, if you went to Target and bought cowboy boots, that's a whole nother conversation we're not going to get into today because why were you at Target, girl? But anyone who went out and got some $20 Target or $20 cowboy boots, it
First
didn't
of
work
all,
out for
was
you.
Target selling? I haven't been to Target for a whole year.
Girl, yes, because
Was Target selling cowboy
yes,
boots?
Target
Okay.
was selling all the merch. Because if you Googled like Cowboy Carter ideas, whatever, Target was trying hard. They were like, come get these hats. We got these cowboy hats. We got the, no, girl, no one's coming.
Okay.
And you
Okay.
know what? Maybe this is going to be a regional thing because maybe when she goes to
Yes.
Atlanta and Houston,
Mhm.
people have a pair of boots that they've broken in that are in their closet that are high quality. But at the LA show, I'm going to be honest. Most of these people at the LA show look like those boots came from Amazon, Target,
Fact.
maybe like Sheen. I don't know. But what I'm telling you is you didn't think long and hard enough about wearing a cheap pair of boots for your very first time where you had to park at a football stadium,
Oof.
walk into the football stadium, stand up for 3 hours, dance, and then walk all the way back. Because we
Right.
definitely saw some stragglers with boots off.
Oh, it
Not
was real gross. That part was
opposite
gross. I'm sorry.
opposite of boots on the ground. We have boots in the hand and people walking without them. So I'm going to say my first top tip is you need to definitely comfort comes first. Style, yes, but I need you, especially if you are 35 plus. I'm gonna need you to think about plantar fasciitis. Think about your insoles
Girl,
and
35 plus, 40
yeah.
plus, 50 plus.
Oh,
You're like, let's
I
be
don't
honest.
think I'm sticking with 35 plus. Don't wear cheap boots. Think about your future self. Don't wear them boots, girl. Don't wear them boots.
So for the tips, what did you wear, Jessica?
I did wear boots, but I wore booties that I've
You
worn
did.
before.
You did.
That has bit of a snakeskin print booty.
A little extra.
Some jean shorts. I wore my shirt from actually I wore the shirt the last time I wore it was at the On the Run tour. So I wore it. Some of you may be familiar with it with the black and pink shirt from the Beyonce album.
Mhm.
Um, So that's what I wore with a pink bandana. Very
Mhm.
understated.
Very.
Very, very Los Angeles understated.
Right. No cowboy boots. You
No,
didn't really invest in the
no.
cowboy boots. I
Oh, I
wore
wore a fringe vest, a fringe vest.
You did have a French
That was
vest.
my cow. Yes, yes,
You did.
yes.
Yeah. I had bedazzled sneakers that were really cute, and I was denim. I was denim and diamonds. I was denim and diamonds all the way. I had my cowboy hat on, but I was able to walk. I danced for 3 hours. My feet weren't hurting, and my feet weren't swollen when I got home. Yes, my feet were
Yeah,
not swollen.
yes. So style can slay people, but test your fit ahead of time. And I'm gonna need folks, just steer clear of the boot. If you ain't been marching around in boots, don't
Ever.
this is not the time for you. Okay?
Especially in a 90-degree weather,
Yeah.
because depending on what
Stay.
city you're in,
Yeah.
I mean, if you're in Chicago or, you're in one of the cities, it might be 90 degrees.
No, stay authentic
So
to your style.
so my advice, second my second tip is, listen, merch is important, and merch is a whole experience. I will say that my favorite part of any concert is the merch. I'm wearing some right now. But if you want to get merch, the official merch, be early, because the line will be long and the people will not be moving quick. And so I was able, let's just say, when we were in the parking lot in traffic, there were a few people on the street vendors. I will say,
Black
support street
jobs. Black
Black
jobs.
support the economy. I'm saying I supported. I actually bought official merch, but I also bought 2 shirts from vendors on the street, and that's okay.
Yes. I should say in LA, I should have said black and brown. Support black and brown jobs because you know what? The brown
Thank
folks
you.
were out for Beyonce, supporting her. We have vaqueros. People were out there supporting her,
People were out,
out
and
and
you
about.
know what? I'm not gonna say it out loud, but I guess I'm saying it on a podcast. The merch was pretty good in the streets, but the spelling may have needed a little bit of work on some of them,
Okay.
Cowboy Kbor. I mean, like but I will say the one that I'm actually wearing today, I got from the street, and I'm going to be supporting and giving gifts for the other stuff.
Look, Chitlin Circuit is not necessarily something that people are spelling every day. I'm giving people the pass on that.
Yes, say I wish I had gotten there a little early because one, I know they were giving out Sir liqueur for free. They were giving out, there were some like step and repeats that you could take pictures of. There were some things that you can do, experiences, and I think I may have mixed, and we missed the experiences.
There's 3 more months left of this tour. Or 2 more months.
We'll talk about that later.
Okay, so what's my number 3 is gonna be know your section as much as
Oof.
you can. So this was interesting for me because everyone who listens knows I was going back and forth on what show I was going to go to. I was going to go to New York, and then scheduling things came up. And so I had to go to I had to, but I decided to go to LA last minute, and I kind of in an anxiety night one night texting Tanya decided to just buy my own ticket.
Right.
Don't know if I advise that for everyone, but I got in the right headspace. I didn't wait for any free sir to come my way. I had some sir before I left my house, and then I had a double when I got to the show, so I was feeling right.
She was feeling right.
I was
She
feeling
wasn't
right.
driving. She had a designated driver. So listen, enjoy.
So I didn't get to feel out like the chit chat before the show of my section, so I didn't really quite know the energy. I was in row 1, which was nice because I was up against the glass in the front, so no one was walking in front of me. I'd have to keep getting up for people. But I will tell you, right when we were interestingly, when Protector was being sung in this moment, and this is the only reason actually I wasn't upset about this going down during Protector is because that's the only clip I'd seen of the tour so far when Rumi comes out and the whole thing. So I
Right.
knew what to expect. But I'm hearing this chit chat behind me and no, you're not going to do this. You're not going to do this. And I'm like, I know these women are not talking through a Beyonce ballad. Like I know that's not happening at the beginning of the show. Turns out they were, and turns out we had some black on black
An
scuffle,
altercation.
an altercation, a multi-generational altercation of black women about 20, I'm going to go with 25 to 30-year-olds versus about 58 to 68-year-olds.
And who won?
So,
I just want to know who won that battle.
oh, the youngins were escorted out. Okay.
Oh,
But
okay.
not because they won, I think because for fear of they were going to get stomped out. Because the young girl got pushed at least 3 times that I saw. And that was only when I was doing my turnaround, like, attitude, like,
Okay.
Excuse me? Are we still I'm sorry, are we
At
still?"
Beyonce, at
And
Cowboy
and then I was like, "I need to take a picture of this for Tanya." I was like, once they pushed her the 3rd time, I said, "What I'm not gonna do right now is get
is getting
involved." Okay?
because you would have been. I don't know what would have happened.
Yeah,
It
so I
wouldn't
said,
have
"Let
been
me
good.
just go ahead and let this happen." So, that was some energy that try to take our section off, but I was slowly brought back to the moment by the 2 gentlemen sitting next to me, dressed in full cowboy in cowhide booty shorts and hats and no shirts underneath, and, one of them a black cowboy and a white cowboy, blessings, and one cried the whole show. He could not keep a dry eye. And I was okay with that. I felt good. He was comforted by his
Aw.
friend. When she did the song, which I'm forgetting right now, the opera one that she does.
Oh, when she with the we won't say with what when she was
Yeah,
wearing
yeah,
those
yeah, yes,
beautiful.
yeah. That was that took him down. That took him down.
Yes, I
So
think at some point you were texting me going, "Someone's hysterical and
that took
someone
him
just
down.
got knocked out." I was
Yeah,
like, "This is a lot going on." I mean,
yeah.
I was that
But
section
look,
was busy.
I kept centered. I kept focused. I kept my eye on the prize. And I actually would recommend to people, know your section, but also don't be afraid to go to sit at a concert by yourself because it wasn't that
Yes.
bad.
Yes.
I was texting with Tanya. I could see Tanya, but the girl next to me was by herself, and then the 2 on the other side of me, they were together, but they didn't talk to each other the whole time. And I was like, you know what? I'm about to do this more often.
Yeah, and you know what? And sometimes not everybody enjoys a concert the same way. That's
Yes,
all I will say. Some people like to just sit and, meditate in there. Some people like to dance
not
down the aisle
meditate, not
and dance
meditate.
down the aisle and flip their fans all 3 hours long.
Right.
And that
And
was
some
me.
people like to have a fight and just get out whatever that energy is they need to get out. So you know
Even
what?
though they
To each
spent
his
like how
own.
much? Right. And if you spend
Right.
money on a ticket, that
Stop it.
much money, you paid
Stop it.
parking, come on. You got an outfit
Yeah.
and I'm sure you got a hairdo. And that's what I'm going to talk about is
Yes.
the hair
Yeah.
next.
Okay. Yeah. Talk about that. Talk about that Beyonce hair that has to
Yeah,
work.
my tip is Beyonce requires planning. You can't just roll out of bed and decide that you're going to roll the Beyonce because some concerts were giving away. Actually, I think the first few shows were giving away like slashes and swag for those who look the
I,
best.
I thought you were saying they were giving out like
Ponytails.
ponytails. I was like, okay, girl.
If you're going to do a look, can think about the weather, think about comfort, because if you're going to put on 3 or 4 packs of hair and it's 90 degrees, think about how you're going to be sweating out that hair. Or if you decide to straighten that hair tight,
Think
which
about
I
that
did,
neck.
you're going to think about sweating out that hair. And I will say that as someone who had a high pony, I was very well prepared. Now I had a high pony with 2 packs of hair in that ponytail, but I was very comfortable.
Your pony wasn't that high. We'll show a picture. You
I
had
thought
a
it
mid
was pretty
pony. I
high.
feel like I had a
Okay.
high pony. You had a mid pony.
Okay, fine. I had a mid. Okay, I will say also plan ahead when it comes to making appointments for your hairdresser
Right.
because I had an appointment that day, and for some reason the day before, I decided I was going to text her and say, "Hey, can you get my friend Jessica in?"
By the way, this was unsolicited. I did
She
not
didn't
say
ask. She didn't ask
no.
for help, but I said, "Girl, let me help you with your hair." And my hairdresser was like, "What are you talking about? Do you realize everyone is
She
trying to
said,
get a ponytail
she said,
today?"
I do black women's hair. How many of my clients do you think are
Are
going
going.
tonight?
Okay, Tanya, stop. And she literally was like, "What are you talking about? Stop. I'll see you at 9 tomorrow."
Right.
And I took the day off.
Right.
It's okay to take the day off. Enjoy your day. Don't unlike Jessica, who's I think working up until the Beyonce went on.
Right.
I need you to center yourself and enjoy.
Yes. Because the number 5 tip I have is Beyonce's coming for your soul. So like
Ooh,
the cowboy who sat next to me, she's going to take you on a roller coaster. And that roller coaster, first of all, no spoilers, but that includes her. For those of you who stand for Beyonce, she puts herself in some situations where you're like, girl, I'm gonna need you to get tighter on this. I'm gonna need you to make sure those engineers got you, and that they
okay.
also that like we got the insurance policies in place because you're doing a little too much for my my taste. But anyway, she's coming for you. You're gonna be happy. You're gonna be
Mm,
excited. You're
you
gonna be
crying.
overwhelmed. You're probably gonna cry. Then you're
I didn't
probably gonna
cry.
I didn't cry either, but I understand it. I'm not gonna judge anyone for crying. Mm. You're gonna be dancing. You're gonna be pissed at somebody. You don't even know why, but probably because Beyonce told you like you're a girl, you're a bad bitch, and so now suddenly that's where you're at.
Right.
So
I mean, I
I,
felt bad. I mean, listen, I left that concert and I was like, shit, you can't
you
tell me
can't tell
nothing.
me nothing,
I am
nothing,
fine.
nothing.
We are all fine. Even the ones walking with their shoes in hand felt
I
fine.
said what Beyonce said. Beyonce
Right.
said. So
Right.
the thing you need to come ready, and so that's you need to be in the right state of mind to take in what she's telling you and what she's giving you, that energy, so you can take
Yes.
it in because she's all about. And look, we have to just shout out Blue Ivy Carter because I
She's the
never knew
manager.
I
Manager
never
Blue
knew I
Ivy.
could, yeah, excuse me, shout out executive producer, manager, all of the things, Blue Ivy Carter, because I never knew I could draw inspo from a 13-year-old. But
Okay,
girl,
but
when
she
I was
walked
like,
that catwalk.
I was like, do you know what I was doing at 13? We've seen photos, not walking a
Listen,
catwalk, okay?
neither one of us was doing anything of importance, and
pretty
nobody was screaming
far,
for us.
pretty
Nobody was
far from a
screaming.
catwalk, okay?
Right. And Rumi, I have a
Girl,
comment about Rumi. Leave Rumi be. Let her. I'm sorry,
let her
manager,
live.
senior executive,
Director,
director. Why did
you,
you just
you
snuff out
know,
the joy that I saw at the first concert?
and you know what, I'm gonna say this and
Black people stop.
with all loving heart. You know how older sisters are. And that's that energy that Blue Ivy gives. And as a
She does. She
second
does.
daughter, middle child,
Yeah.
I I live for Rumi. I live for her looking
Your
back
joy
going,
was snuffed up.
I
Stuff.
live for her going, "Is this how you like it? Sure."
She did look at She just
And
was
she
like,
looks like,
okay. She was waving
"Mhm."
like, this is what they want, but this is not
Right.
what I want to give. But then
And
he
it's
just
not and in this moment, I'll let you have this, Blue, because this is your tour, and but what's not gonna happen is this gonna I'm not gonna keep this for long. So I'm gonna shout out both of those 2 because if, for children to give you your life, I was like, "Okay. Okay. I need to step my
yeah.
game up. I need to
Yes.
step my game up."
And for adults who are saying, why did we need these children? Y'all need these children because
Yep.
listen, these kids need to see your kids. If you have kids, your kids, nieces need to see these kids up there giving and
First of
doing
all,
something.
if you're saying that, I'm gonna need you to sign off of everything
And
because
don't
you have a
listen.
problem. Like, come on, because the queen, Beyonce is the queen mother. That's why, and she does what she wants.
Right.
And if you want an album in 10 years from Blue Ivy Carter, which you're about to get, and it's probably she's gonna be an EGOT by 23. Tune in, and you could know her back when.
I will say one thing, and it's something I walked out with. Go see this concert because I'm not sure when you're going to get another Beyonce concert.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't
maybe.
know. I don't. She did Renaissance last year. She did this. She might need a break. She's like,
What
listen,
remember she took that break when she took the break the last time she told y'all, she said, "I'm doing this little Lion King thing because that's just gonna help me clear my head, but y'all ain't gonna see me for at least 3 to 5." And we didn't.
well, I want to encourage people, whether you're going to Chicago, Vegas, which we might go, which is the last show of the whole entire concert. So we
Two
might,
shows.
it's, yeah, 2 shows, or you're going to New York, Paris,
Oh,
enjoy,
London. Ugh, still wanna go.
enjoy, dance, bring your girlfriends, or go by yourself and
Yeah,
say, listen, this is my vibe and it's all about me because this is an expensive ticket and I'm not bringing nobody.
right.
But whatever it is, vibe. Get that
Vibe,
vibe and enjoy it.
vibe. Yeah. Yeah, again, shout out Blue Ivy Carter. Thank you for being my
Thank you for producing.
thank
And
you for
all I
being
have to
thank
say
you
is
for everything you've done. All the credits that go to glory
I'm
be to
just
Blue Ivy Carter.
I'm gonna tip my hat.
To
I'm tipping my
you,
hat
Rumi, Beyonce.
to Bay. And I also want to say I probably wasn't in the Bay Hive
Yeah, that's
in the
actually
beginning of our I
you're a
have
bigger stand than
graduated.
all. Look at she's this is one of 5 merch she's wearing right now. She's
Right.
all the way in.
All week I'll probably be wearing different hives. But I will say that I love this album. I thought it was fantastic. I love Renaissance too. I've loved her music, but it has been about 20 years since I've seen her in concert.
And what?
And it was 20 too long.
And she hasn't missed a beat.
Not listen,
Not a
better and
one.
better,
Better
better
and better.
and better.
Girl,
So yes, like, subscribe, find
don't
joy,
don't buy boots,
buy
but
sneakers that are bedazzled that you can walk and dance and make
Beyonce didn't
sure
tell you. Look, Beyonce told you at Renaissance she needs y'all to wear silver. She didn't tell you you have to wear boots. So
she
dress
didn't.
accordingly. She
She
didn't
didn't.
tell you that.
But she did say bring a fan because she's selling them outside. So
Girl,
bring that fan.
girl.
Where them fans at, y'all?
I'm a fan. Stay a fan. Hey, it's Jessica. Thanks for listening to Girl Call Me. If you have something to add or a story to share, come on over to Instagram or Facebook and join the conversation. Also, make sure you follow and subscribe Girl Call Me. You don't want to miss when we release new episodes. Thanks for listening.